Hello, I hope this video finds you doing well today. Today we'll be doing our final part in our multiple part series exploring the pipe organ. I figured with today's final episode we would take a little bit of time to discuss how the designs of different organs have changed and evolved over the years. The pipe organ is a very unique instrument in that it has a tremendously long history, going back well before the medieval times and being active all the way up in today, with new innovators constantly building new instruments. New organs are being created on a regular basis, even now for both churches and concert halls. Now, as the organ is very unique in the sense that you have so many different options on the design and the pipes that you can use within an organ, each organ is different, each organ is unique, and each one has its own sound and tone. And because it is an instrument that has been with us through the ages, the different building styles have also evolved as there has been changes in different taste with music and different approaches to writing music and different focus on the type of sounds that composers want to create. As a result, a pipe organ built in, say, the 1700s would be very different from one built, say, in the early 1900s. There can be quite a bit of difference in the tonal design. Now, we have a very unique opportunity in that we have the opportunity to hear two different organs that have been built in two very different period designs. The first one we'll be showcasing is our instrument at First Methodist Church, which was built in 1984, but was built under the ideas of the Neo-Baroque tradition, which was a movement that got started in about the mid-1950s with the intent of emulating a lot of the organs that were built during the time of Johann Sebastian Bach. This would have been in the mid-1700s, the mid to early 1700s, during the height of the Baroque period. These instruments usually focus more on a lot of higher sounds, so you'll see a lot more presence of 4- and 2-foot pipes. The idea being, and a lot more mixtures and things of this nature, the idea being that the music of this time focused a lot on several different lines weaving together, so clarity of those lines became real important. So having an instrument that was more focused on a brighter sound, sounds with more higher pitches, was very necessary to achieve this sense of clarity within the tone. The second instrument we'll be looking at is actually the instrument we featured in our second video, where we got the opportunity to go into the instrument. This is an instrument that was originally built in 1926 by the Pilcher Company, and is very reflective of the building style in America at that time. This is very much influenced by the Romantic period of the late 1800s, as well as the interest in the early 20th century in America with more symphonic organ designs. So this instrument actually features a lot more foundational stops. Actually, primarily the majority of this organ is actually built on 16 and 8-foot stops. So you have a lot of really round, rich, dark sounds that this instrument can produce. But it's not as much in the brighter register. It does not have, and actually I don't think this instrument has a single mixture on it. So very different approaches to building and tonal design. So to explore this, we're going to first start by looking at a piece by Johann Sebastian Bach, which we will hear on both instruments. First on our Visser Roland at First Methodist, and then on the 1926 Pilcher. This piece, Kriegslag and Todesbanden, is very indicative of the Romantic period, of the Baroque period, and that it is very much a great deal of counterpoint, different melodies and lines being woven together to produce the tone. So what we'll hear in this is that the Neo-Baroque style Visser instrument at First Methodist is going to allow for a lot more of the clarity of those voices, while the instrument from 1926, the Pilcher, is a little bit, the texture's a little bit muddier. But in both cases, we are able to champion the music, but still in a little bit different way and a different tone. Our second and contrasting example will be a piece by French Romantic composer Alexandre Guillemot. This is an adagio excerpt from his Sonata No. 3. The writing and the style of this music is a lot more melodic. It has less to do with interweaving lines and more is designed to be focused around more foundational pitch and creating a nice lyrical sound. Again, we will first hear this played on the Visser Roland instrument at First Methodist Church, again the Neo-Baroque style instrument, and then contrasted against the instrument that's more designed around the Romantic ideal, the 1926 Pilcher. From here you'll notice, again, the Pilcher is able to create a little bit more of a rounder, darker sound that gets a little bit, makes this passages a little bit more interesting and a little bit more colorful. this concludes our exploration of the organ. I hope you've enjoyed this series. I hope you found it interesting and that it may give you a little bit more of an appreciation for this very unique and remarkable instrument. I would encourage you, if you have additional interest in the instrument, there's all kinds of great resources that can be found on the internet, that can be found on YouTube, and also would strongly encourage to look at getting in contact with your local chapter of the American Guild of Organists. We have a chapter here in Victoria that we try to do different events to kind of get organ music out in the Victoria area, and I would highly recommend, if you have found this interesting, to look up and making connection with that group, so that might be a good opportunity to hear more and to learn even more about this fascinating instrument. I thank you for your attention. I thank you for your patience and your support with all this. This has been a pleasure to get to put these together, and I hope that they have been as enjoyable for you as they have been for me to put together. Thank you.